Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I wanted to make a follow-up video on the Supernote e-ink tablet. Had it for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks now, so it's kind of given me a chance to really put it to some use, and I wanted to kind of see or kind of share with how I am liking it or not liking it. So I'll try to keep this pretty quick and brief. So one of the things I really like about it is just the writing experience. So initially, I got this to be a work, kind of more of a work tool, use it for work. And the ironic part is actually I'm not using it for work as much as I thought I am, but I'm using it more a lot for personal use, which I didn't think I would. But it's been very helpful. Um, it truly has eliminated all the paper off my desk. I always kept a notebook on my desk to always jot things down, whether it's for work, personal, just to kind of keep reminders, notes for myself, and all that has gone off my desk. So now I just keep this, and it's ready to go. So pros, I'll kind of cover the pros first. So it's super easy to write on. I mean, it does. It's as closest to paper pen experience as one can get. A significant improvement over a lot of the Samsung devices I've used. So I've used a lot of the Samsung Note phones. I've actually had all the Note phones. I have the S7 Plus. I have the Tab S3. I've used all the different Samsung Note products I've always used, and they're great, but they're more kind of more for fun, I would say. They're not really practical for note taking like for this purpose. And the big reason for that is just even though on the Tab S7 Plus it really has a nice writing experience, the challenge is that is the screen and having it be on. So this is kind of always ready to go. So if I'm in a meeting or whatever, I need to take a note, you open it, you can just start writing. That one, your Samsung devices, you can't leave open like this. I mean, this can stay open. I have it set for, I think, 30 minutes before it turns off. So it'll stay like this for 30 minutes. So you can constantly keep jotting things down, where the other one after 30 seconds shuts off. So every time you have to kind of open it, it just, I've tried several times to turn it into like a work kind of note document or note taking tool, and in the end, it doesn't work. I still use the pen a lot for like photo or video editing or just kind of goofing around. Um, Use it for that, but for writing and notes, like a paper replacement, hands down, this is much better. So very easy to write with. Battery. The battery on this thing is awesome. I mean, I charge this thing like once a week, and it stays open like this for, I don't know, I feel like hours a day because I have it set for 30 minutes. So I'll flip it open and I'll close it occasionally, but I've never done a formal on-screen battery test. So I can't give you like a specific number, but I mean, if I had to compare it to like my Tab S7, I mean, I feel like this is about maybe, I don't know, 6 times longer battery life. I mean, it just, I'll put it this way, you don't have to worry about the charging. I charge it just once a week, even though it's, it may be like at 15-20%, which is probably still another couple of days of use. I just charge it usually on a Friday or on a Saturday and a weekend. I'll just charge it so it's ready to go for the week. So battery life is pretty amazing. The writing experience is spot on. I mean, it really gives you the right amount of like feedback and sound. I mean, it's been the best um, paper pen replacement tool I've ever tried. It's like leaps and bounds ahead of all the Samsung devices, the Microsoft Surface, and all that stuff. The stylus is really nice. The ceramic tip, very fine point. It's just a joy to write on. I covered this one in a replacing paper. Again, I always keep notepads here, all gone. Um, the other pro about this one is the customer service. Now, I haven't had to use it for any kind of problems. It's been, knock on wood, problem free for me, but it's just good to know. From what I hear, they have good customer service, and they're pretty active on Reddit. So they're very involved with the community, looking for any feedback you have, suggestions. They're kind of there, available to kind of engage, which I think is pretty cool. The other pro is PDFs. I love this one. So this is a super easy way to fill out PDFs without having to print them off and then scan them or fax them. So if you have routinely like forms to fill out for whatever purpose, this makes it so much easier. And it's because it has some of the, I'll call it smart features, where you can connect it to Dropbox, your email, or even your Gmail calendar. You can import those documents, edit them, and then export them kind of pretty seamlessly. I'll cover this in the cons, but right now it uses Dropbox, and it's just fine. I'm just not a Dropbox user, so I have to use this for that. The Google Drive would be much better. So those are kind of my pros about kind of what I like so far. Some of the cons, no pressure sensitivity. So you press hard or you press light, it doesn't really change. So for sketching, you can't really get any pressure sensitivity. Now what you can do is you can change the shade to kind of mimic it. So you can change it to like a little bit of a lighter shade, and you kind of got that. You can go even a little lighter than that. So that's kind of a con. I wish it had some kind of pressure sensitivity for sketching, especially. Yeah, I see here. Yeah, same. So that's kind of the only, like, for shading you don't quite get the level of pressure sensitivity. You get a little bit if you pick up, but it's nowhere near as good as like the Tab S7. So that's leaps and bounds ahead of that one. The other one is probably the biggest con I have is this one, is the UI. So the UI is a little sluggish. It's acceptable, but where it becomes kind of a pain is if you're using this for work and you got different kind of different charts and notes, and you got to flip between them quickly. It can kind of be a little choppy, I guess. The best way, not as easy to quickly find what you're looking for. If you're trying to remember, like recall your notes from a meeting 2 weeks ago, you have to go in there, tab over pages. It can, again, if you're trying to do this on a fly, like you're in a meeting and you want to reference a note from 3 weeks ago, it's not quick enough that you can quickly retrieve that and still kind of stay kind of in beat. You almost have to kind of pause and find it and come back. So it's a little bit of a slow UI in terms of how quickly it navigates. It's not snappy. It's a little laggy. The part I'm kind of new to these e-ink tablets, but they're not cheap. So I wonder why. And I also noticed they're not using like really like top of line specs. I mean, if they dropped in like a Snapdragon 865 in here, and I don't know why they don't. I mean, cost or what? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but it seemed like if they put in a little better hardware in here, this could be solved for. The other con is I'm not sure if this is better than Remarkable. I'm not saying it's worse, but when I was buying this, I was really kind of torn between this one and the Remarkable 2. And what led me to this one was the customer service, kind of the active engagement, and then some of the smart features like the Dropbox, the email, the calendar. They're eventually getting Google Drive, which is the main thing I'm hoping for, is to get Google Drive. But that was kind of what tipped the needle towards this one, was kind of the customer service and some of the smart features. And what I'm realizing now is I don't know if I really need some of these smart features. I mean, the Dropbox or Google Drive to integrate with upload and export PDF documents obviously is needed, but email and calendar, I really don't need it. I mean, again, going back to kind of the sluggish UI, it's just so much easier just to go on my phone and check this stuff and try to do it through here. I don't use it. I mean, I could see for other people, maybe if you really actively manage your calendar like throughout the day, then yeah, the calendar access might be good, but I don't. I don't have that. I just don't do that. So for me, these aren't as appealing. You know, I also don't really do any e-reading, so having the Kindle is of no value to me. Calendar is no value to me, nor is the mailbox. But that's me, you know. So, but I'm just using those because that was kind of what tipped me to buy this one. And now the Remarkable, its strength, again, I've never used it, but it seems like its main focus is just writing. You know, it's kind of a one-trick pony. It just focuses on one thing and it does it well. And after using this for about 5 weeks, I realized that really that's all I care about is the writing experience. Like this, all the other stuff is really secondary. I would take a awesome writing experience over an okay experience with a bunch of bells and whistles. So part of me kind of is now a little more curious about the Remarkable, to see kind of what that writing experience is like. I mean, granted, I think this has a better stylus, so I don't know. It just now kind of making me want to kind of at least try it. I mean, the latency tests I've seen online are so close that it's maybe not noticeable, but again, it's making me curious now. The last con is the price, and you know, I don't know if it's I never want to use the price as a pro or a con against a device because that's your choice. It's not like it was a surprise or snuck up on you or they tried selling you something after the fact. So I'm not going to say that it's a con, but it's just something to be mindful of. These devices are not cheap. I mean, I actually got the Tab S7 Plus cheaper. Granted, you know, MSRP is twice as that one, but you know, Samsung's always got their crazy deals and promos that you can often get these pretty cheap. And this has, obviously, you're talking about, you know, AMOLED and ton of RAM, storage, ton of hardware improvements, and it's, you know, close to the same price. I mean, granted, Samsung's got the economies of scale where Supernote doesn't, but either way, I'm not saying this is a con because it can't be a con because the price is the price. If you don't like it, you don't buy it. So you can't hold the price against a product, you just don't buy it. If they tried selling you a bunch of stuff afterwards, like you bought the tablet, but then all of a sudden it says you got to pay us, you know, $50 if you want to use the calendar, or $50 if you want to use this, then yeah, that's a different story. But it's not, you know, not really a con, but it is unfortunately expensive. So overall, you know, my thought on it is, you know, I like it. I am happy with the purchase, and would I recommend it? Yes, I would. I think this is a very cool device. I find a lot of use out of it. If you're someone who does take a lot of notes, if you're someone who keeps, you know, notebooks on their desks and always jotting things down, it's for you. If you are kind of a sketcher or doodler, or you just want something to kind of sketch and play with, is it for you? Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, there's probably better ones if you're strictly looking for kind of the art aspect of it. Like, I would say if you're truly like art, maybe this one would be a little better because it's got more tools. But I think if you're like just a, you know, hobby doodler, it'd be kind of cool. I think if you're like a teacher or something like that, this would be very cool as well. Kind of keep lesson plans, calendars, things like that. So I think it's a good device. I would recommend it. I don't see myself kind of moving away from it. If I had to do it all over again, would I buy this one over the Remarkable 2? You know, it's a lot closer now than it was in the beginning. You know, when I first bought this, it was kind of like pretty much a no-brainer. I wanted this one. I just wanted to make sure I was making the right choice and do my due diligence. So I kind of, you know, cross-shopped it, even though I was kind of set on this one. But now, having used it and kind of understand what these extra features do for me, you know, part of me now, I don't know, to be honest. Now it's like a 50-50. If I were to do it all over again, would I get the Supernote or the Remarkable 2? I want to say yes, I would. Very, very closely, only because of the customer service experience, and there's a lot of like updates, things coming that are gonna, I think, keep improving this one. So I just think it's a lot closer now than it was in the beginning. So would I buy it again? Yeah, I probably would. but I still maybe one day will test the Remarkable too. All right, that is all I have on this one. At this point, I don't think there's anything more I can figure out. So what I'll probably do, maybe, I don't know, maybe in 6 months, I'll come back maybe and see if there's another long-term review, anything more I discover, or if my output changes. But for now, I'm going to keep using this, and I'll pop back in maybe in a 6-month period and let you guys know if anything changes with some of the pros or other cons, and if the battery gets worse or something like that, or any new big rollouts happen to make this device bigger. But would I recommend this device? Yes. Would I choose this over the Remarkable 2? It's honestly 50-50, you know. Flip a coin is probably what I would do at this point. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll put a link in the description if you're looking to purchase one, and that's it. That's all I got. Talk to you later.